All right, so you've got something for us today, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be an anger-filled clip.
Yeah.
So let's just launch into it.
I'm probably not going to treat this guy with any form of reverence. Okay, so on the Huffington Post, a gentleman by the name of Karl Giberson, Dr. Karl Giberson,
PhD,
wrote an article called "Take an Atheist to Church." I suggest that you go to Huffington Post, search that title, and look this up. And
we'll include a link to it on our webpage just in case.
He thinks maybe.
Okay.
If I'm not too lazy about it.
Okay.
Okay, so to sum up, this guy basically says that, you know, atheists should go to church because apparently we don't know what we're talking about. Apparently atheists haven't, you know, I mean, the bulk of us have not apparently converted from some religion or another to atheism. So we clearly just were born under a rock and have no understanding of religion whatsoever, and we just like to be atheists for the fun of it.
Well, let's be specific here. He actually says in his opening paragraph that the only knowledge that atheists have of religious people come from the headlines that we read, where somebody blows up an abortion clinic or a suicide bomber does something, or someone attacks, you know, medical... Right, he's saying that is our only frame of reference for religion.
Yeah, he says, atheists, however, speak with great confidence about the evils of religion that they seem to have encountered only in headlines. Which, I mean, he's already just making assumptions for us as opposed to speaking about anything that he knows about. He says atheists should go to church and do research if they really want to keep talking about religion. Okay. Do we not do research? I mean, do the people that are us even here we do research on everything.
Let's also keep in mind that I would have considered myself a Christian until probably I was about 24. Mm-hmm. Went to church. My parents took me to church for a very long time. You didn't have as much experience going to church as I did, but you were raised to be something, so it's not like you had never been to church before.
Well, we had baptized, got communion.
Yeah, exactly. So you went through the whole process. We had our first guest, Eric, was in the church and had some rather direct experiences with the church, and went to church for a long time. Was the head of his class at his Mormon seminary, you know, all the way through high school. So I don't know. Actually, I do know what atheists. Karl knows, which is he knows atheists from headlines. I think it's safe to say that the only atheist that this guy knows, so he is the very thing he is accusing us of.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that is amazing.
I think, in fact, he goes on right here and states something very similar to what you're saying. He says, "What I am not okay with, however, are the mean-spirited caricatures produced by people who have virtually no real experience with religious people, beyond reading about them in headlines. I don't recognize these religious people." That's because you're one of those people. You're the one that doesn't look outside of your community at what atheists actually are, beyond what you read about us in articles and our blogs where we attack you, and you just feel so offended, but you don't actually do the research. You go on to describe here that we should spend a year in church, that that maybe we would even be convinced that Christians believe in odd things, but that you think we would experience that, we would see that your faith is like your affection for the Red Sox or your love of the glorious fall foliage. Come be an atheist for a year. Stop going to church and start researching why these bad articles about religious people, like, why do they do these things? It's because of their religious beliefs. Right. If they didn't have these beliefs, they wouldn't be doing those kinds of things, because without that, I don't know, false promise or whatever, without this stringent belief that you're doing it in the name of God, most people couldn't just do these things because they want to.
Yeah, what person is going to strap C4 to themselves and blow up a girls' school without religion? Like, I can't think of an instance, and maybe that's my own ignorance, that, you know, I don't know that there's somebody who feels really strongly about that without any kind of religious ties to manage to go do that. But
there's certainly some, but the vast majority, yeah.
Has there been?
Jeffrey Dahmer was an atheist until he went to prison.
Oh, okay. But
I mean,
he wasn't. But he wasn't doing his killings in the name of atheism.
Well, although
was
he did later claim when he became Christian that he felt the reason he was able to do those things was because he didn't believe in a higher power.
Well, there's a lot of religious people who are able to do terrible things in the name of God,
right.
anyways. So.
I'm just saying their cases are, but you're the low minority. That's the thing. I mean, most of the terrible things that are done. I would love to do a tally of atheists in the name of atheism kill people here, and religious people kill in the name of religion here. This side is going to fill in a lot more quickly than the atheists, because most of us, I mean, the thing is, we're just normal people. But we see a situation, most atheists see a situation and they analyze it for themselves. We have our own morality. We take our life experiences from the people around us to make those decisions of right and wrong. Well, we don't have a book telling us this is right, this is wrong.
Well, and it's funny to me because he actually, the way that he is grouping atheists together is really interesting to me, because you have to understand, atheism is one thing. It's the rejection of a claim.
Right.
And it's the rejection of one claim. There's not a host of claims. It doesn't say anything about like how you fall politically. It doesn't say anything about how you think about pro-life, pro-choice. It doesn't say anything about if you think we should go green as a society. It doesn't, it has nothing to do with any of those things. So the thing is, I can be an atheist and you can be an atheist, and that says one thing about us, that in this particular case we're agreeing on a rejection of a claim. Nothing else about us.
Right.
We could have nothing else in common. Well, nothing.
That's the big thing. We don't, atheists, once you are in this camp, that's what you are. You're in this camp. But our camp doesn't have, a church down the corner that a building down the corner that we all go hang out, every Wednesday. It doesn't have those rules. If you're an atheist, that just means that you're a person. That's it. It doesn't suddenly mean that you are. You believe X, Y, Z, period, end of story. That's not how we work. We believe everyone's going to feel differently.
Right.
I mean, and to add to that, because he wraps up the article with, where's this part here? That many of us send money to troubled parts of the world to help people in need. Atheists, of course, also do these things, but our city has no tutoring programs, food banks, or homeless shelters sponsored by atheist organizations. Okay, first of all, like we just said, we're not an organization. Atheists are not something that gets together and gets to have the ability to make these kind of choices. He specifically says he's in Quincy, Massachusetts, by the way. So we looked it up, looked at things in his area.
I would like to point out that these examples we got not even 5 minutes doing a cursory search on Google. So this is something that I love to harp about. When you need to learn something, it's not hard. Yeah. It's really not. Less than 5 minutes on Google to prove this guy wrong.
Well, I think the point is he's looking for atheist organizations that do this kind of stuff. But atheists don't have organizations like that. We have non-religious and secular.
I know that there are specifically like atheist homeless organizations, or usually they're not called atheists. They're usually called like humanists or something like that.
Exactly.
But that's because atheism is, again, it's rejection of one thing.
Exactly.
And then you have people who consider themselves humanists, and that is to say, I want to help humans. I want to help humanity. I want to, and those groups tend to be made up by atheist people, atheist, agnostic, non-believing people, because they want a charity that's not religiously driven. So there is, like you're saying, not often going to be like, we are the atheist food bank, because all atheism is the rejection of a claim that gods exist.
Exactly.
That's it.
You're usually going to find it in terms of secular or humanist.
Right.
And that's my point. Of maybe he didn't find anything because he searched the term atheist like food bank, and it's like, yeah, good luck finding that. We don't organize
but even
that
so,
way.
with a short search
we found
on Google, we found
Harvard Square homeless shelter, the American Red Cross, the Humanist Chaplaincy of Harvard, Interfaith Social Services.
Right.
I mean the
Interfaith Social Services and the who just ran the.
It's the Humanist Chaplaincy.
The Humanist Chaplaincy, which just ran Hunger Rally in Quincy, Massachusetts on it was mid-February. I think it was the 18th. The founder of that organization, the organization works to bring people of a variety of faiths and non-believers together to help hungry people. The founder is actually an atheist, secular humanist,
Yep.
who was raised, just reading on their webpage, he was raised in a Christian evangelical setting. He was a convert, and then after a while he fell away and became atheist. So this gentleman whose name was Chris... oh, I'm totally blanking on his last name right now.
Sorry, I didn't write down.
But he is like everything that this guy said atheists aren't.
Yeah.
He's well versed in a religion, fell away from it, you know, didn't like it, couldn't agree with it anymore, decided to reject the claim that gods exist, therefore became an atheist. And I mean, he is everything that Karl is saying atheists aren't. Mm-hmm. You know, and I gotta tell you, Karl, that you know what you know about atheists from headlines, from nasty things that we write on blogs sometimes, because we have a legitimate gripe with religious organizations, and you're a tool.
Yeah, definitely.
Outcasts out.